What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 41 of Park to Prem here with Town Town. You join me today in a very windy and stormy England. So we're sat here hoping there isn't going to be a power cut during the episode. That would be pretty unfortunate. But of course, as you guys will know, things have changed quite a lot here at Town since the end of last year. It's been a bit of a crazy summer. If you missed yesterday's video, I say it a lot. I really mean it this time. Do go check it out. If you're someone who maybe stumbled across that video, having maybe fallen off the series a little bit, and you're reignited with interest, thank you for returning. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this season and what is to come, because of course last episode Alexander Mutkin took over as a tycoon owner here at Town, and he immediately made the team go pro. And with all of that going on, it's been an interesting pre-season because we haven't signed too many players. Rather, we've had to offer new contracts to pretty much our entire squad. All of our players were on part-time contracts, meaning they didn't train during the week. We are now, if we just look at the training screen, a full-time club with a full schedule of training going on. But, well, off the back of that, I had to offer players new wages. So gone are the days of the game appearance fees. That is an era that we will hopefully leave behind forever. Now we offer wages to our players, and it was very tricky. There are certainly players here who are a little overpaid for what they actually offer, but I just wanted to tie down our entire squad on first team contracts. I'm hoping now with them all being full-time footballers, they're going to be able to focus a lot more on their footballing skills. And we'll reap the benefits of that with player development here at Town. So anyway, let's talk about the transfer market first. But be warned, we've not gone crazy in the transfer market. We are actually over our wage budget because I've been locking in all of our players. I'm hoping he's just going to give us more money because Alexander's just an oil baron or something. I don't know how he's got his money, actually. It could be anything. You guys, let me know your theories. There must be a backstory there. Maybe he owns the Russian post service, and he's impressed by Ferguson's talents. I don't know. Let's talk about transfer history. So on the outs, a few loaning outs to begin with. The first time, really, where we've had players who I feel like are worth acknowledging their departures on temporary basis. We don't really sell many players or, loan out any players either. We've just generally just released the rejects or moved them to the under-23s. But Michael McCulloch, he has gone to Bradford, PA. Very good left back. Loads of potential, but wasn't going to get regular first team football this year. And Steve Tisdale, similar move for him. He's gone to Curzon Ashton, playing in the National North, where, we were playing last year. We will see how he gets on at them. On the ins, a few players you were already aware of, like Smolyo and David Wang coming in, and a whole host of Liverpool youngsters. Jack Holland, potentially one for the future. Very good kind of deeper playmaker. Excited to see what he could develop into. Another young player for the future is Johnny Howard. This guy is going to be in the first team. I don't anticipate him to play too much this year. He's a bit of an unusual player in the sense that he's very good physically and, mentally, and he's just technically not good attacking or defensively. He's just a bit of a weird centre mid where we can play him on centre mid on support, but any kind of defensive or attacking role really isn't going to get a great deal out of him. He's odd. We'll see what becomes of him. I'm not sure what role I would play him in. If you've got any ideas for how you would play him, do let me know. That is Johnny Howard, not Holland. Two H's. And, it's not Triple H, because unfortunately the next player was a G, Luke Gouda. We've talked about this guy a lot. Excited to see what he can do. He's a really terrific centre-back who can play centre-mid, who can play up top. Will be in the first team this year as well. You can see he has signed a 3-year deal at the club now. There were a few players here who we signed once, and then we had to sign them onto new deals when we went professional. It was all a bit messy. Callum McDonald joined us from Queen's Park. I was a little bit excited about this guy for the future. Then he tore his hamstring. So, That's all that really needs to be said there. Anyway, a couple of fullbacks coming in. Kane Patterson joins us from Burnley. Really like this guy. Can play right back and left back. Terrific player for this kind of level. You can see he's really well rounded, and he's also got quite a bit about him going forward. He's definitely not your traditional defensive fullback. He has decent crossing, decent dribbling. I wish his composure and off the ball were a tiny little bit better, but at this level, he's going to be a fine second choice right back / left back on the bench for us. The next player, a return of a familiar face, everyone. Yes, Mr. James Norris, who left us for Ipswich Town a few years ago now. He returns to the mighty Towlaw on loan. He's had a few loan spells at this level and never really shone. We will hope that we can rekindle his previous form when he played for us at left back. And yeah, do expect to see him feature in the team fairly often. He's a bit of a fan favourite, and it's nice to have him back at the team. The Ginger Ninja on the left. Anyway, couple of regens coming in on free transfers. The first, Cedric Amisador, is a former Hull City man. Bit of an interesting chap, this one. Not great composure, not great finishing. He's off the balls above average, I guess. He's a striker, but his physicals are really where he stands out. He probably won't start too many games this year. If we have a few injuries, though, do expect him to come in as kind of 4th or 5th choice striker. And last but not least, a player who I've had my eye on for a very long time, Russell Shuttleworth, has joined us from Bolton. Yes, he was released by Bolton at the end of his contract, or rather, he left Bolton at the end of his contract. He has signed a 4-year deal with us. You can see playing for Bolton in the National North, he did very well. The year before that, he actually played in this league, which, considering at the time he was, well, how old was he? Like 16 or 17? He performed quite well. He's a player with a ton of potential. He can play centre mid, which actually is where I think he'll feature fairly often for us. But he can also play in the wide areas. So a great player to have on the bench. And if he finds some form, he'll definitely force his way into first team contention. So that's what we've done in terms of transfers. And this is how we're going to line up for this year. And there's not too many new faces in the team. Unfortunately, Zach Gannon has been injured right at the end of pre-season. He's not 100% fit, so he can't start today for our first game against Solihull Moors. But you can see in goal we've got Johan still. Do expect Smoljo, though, to compete for this position. I really, really like this Croatian youngster. I think he's got a ton of stuff about him. And yeah, he could very much force his way into the first team as our goalkeeper as the season progresses. But Johans, at least to begin with, is going to be in net. At left back we go with Norris, who of course returns to the team. Gouda and Younger are going to be at centre back. Younger was stripped of vice captaincy for Mampala this year, simply because I don't think Younger's going to be starting all that regularly once Gannon is fit. At right back we go with Dunstan, one of the few players who hasn't signed a senior contract yet and a full-time contract. He is still on a part-time one. I would love to offer him a contract, but if we just look at his demands, he wants £2,000 a week. That makes him comfortably the highest earner at the club. I'm not willing to pay him that much. He needs to lower his demands. In the centre mid positions, we're going to stick with Jones and Warrington. Warrington had a really big breakout year last year. We'll hope for more of that from him today. DKM and Wern are going to play in the wide midfielder areas. This was a position which I thought I wanted to strengthen, but then I couldn't really find anyone, and all of our kind of transfer and wage budget ended up just being injected into securing everyone first team contracts. And these were two chaps who wanted quite big wages for what they offer in terms of ability, but I'm going to use that as a sign that they have lofty ambitions for this year. Maybe like Warrington had a slow year, then a sped up year. Maybe now having, had his kind of half a season with us, DKM, he's going to crack on. Similar story for Stephen with a P, also known as Wern, out on the right. A bit of a big earner, but we'll see if they can prove their worth to us. Up top, Mampala, who, as I said, is now vice-captain. Our captain remains as Kumwenda. And up top, alongside him, a very happy sight to see, Leighton Stewart, back from a season-long injury pretty much last year, returns to our starting 11 today. So that's why I currently kind of feel like is our strongest starting 11. Will it stay that throughout the year? I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see. The media, by the way, predicting us to win the league. That feels lofty. We've not added that many new faces this year, This has been a team that largely remains unchanged. I only assume that that's a testament to, I guess, just how good our recruitment's been ever since we joined the club. In terms of in the media Dream 11, Gouda's in there, Warrington's in there, and Mampala's in there for us. You can see Mampala considered the highest key player in the league. Gouda not too far behind him in the pecking order. I was looking at trying to bring in Michael Day, who is a player who plays for Boston. However, Pompey beat us to the punch. They've signed him for £150,000 and loaned him back. He actually looks like a very good forward. I'm a little bit jealous. Hopefully he's not going to be too much of a thorn in our side. So Solihull Moors, who we play today, just to look at things, they're predicted to finish 10th. So we are going to be very much expected to win things here. Of course, we are going to be away from home, which makes things difficult. Although, until March time, where we move back into our Ironworks Road Stadium, we are not going to really feel at home for a while. You know, we're in a temporary ground. We've got new ownership. We've got new training facilities on the way. It feels very much like a year of transition, and it's going to be interesting to see how this season plays out. Media expectations are high. The board just want us to reach the playoffs. The playoffs is the top 6 teams behind the champions, so if we can get a top 7 finish, that would be good enough to meet the expectations on offer. I am a little bit concerned about the fact we're over our wage budget right now, but I am kind of hoping that we will be allowed to let it slide. It was a kind of unfortunate side effect of the fact that we went professional. I wanted to lock down the first team that we know and love on full-time contracts for the most part. And so we had to pay. And that's just kind of the way it is, unfortunately. I feel like the players have caught wind of the fact that we have lots of money now here at the club and are milking me for it. That is definitely a factor. I'm convinced that is a thing in Football Manager, which I feel like it happens in the Premier League as well. If you manage a big club, or even if you're, a mid to low end Premier League club and you're trying to sign a player from abroad, because they know you're a Premier League team with money, they ask for more money. Anyway, we've got the Democratic Republic of Congo link-up play going on whilst I ramble away. Mampala with our first goal ever in this division, and DKM with the assist. Dunstan down the right, switches the play. DKM leaps like a salmon. Of course, he does have that freakishly good aerial ability for a winger. Wins the header, and Manasseh Mampala scores. And I'm desperately hoping that Mampala, much like he did last year, is going to be the player who puts everyone else on his backpack and just carries us. And, well, we've been given a penalty, and Leighton Stewart is going to take it. Welcome back to the first team, Leighton. Show us what we missed last year when you got injured. Get your first goal, get some confidence, and he smashes it home. And what a start, everyone. 2 goals up after 20-odd minutes. 2 of our strikers who a lot of the expectation is going to rest on this year, both getting on the score sheet. Kumwende is on the bench. We will give him opportunities. He'll get chances, you know he will. But I feel like the reality is that we need to play our strongest players. And up until Stewart's season-ending injury, it was him and Mampala who were kind of playing off one another, and they were playing very well at the time. And, well, the big relief really is the fact that, although they only had a short stint playing together previously, that they seem to have hit it off again right away. Curtis Jones tries to switch the play on the left. Not a great ball in. DKM, a player who's on a booking chasing him. Go on, get him sent off. Or do that. Okay, well, he's smashed it wide. It's not a particularly great effort. And at half-time, after a very, very quick start, we've mellowed out a little bit. It is 2-0 here. Joe Hans, 3 shots saved. Give him a big green thumbs up. He's loving it. We haven't got anyone on bookings. DKM is struggling a little bit for fitness. There is a part of me that wants to bring in Shuttleworth sooner rather than later in this game, the chap that we've signed from Bolton Wanderers. Alternatively, Wern hasn't had the best game out on the right. So you know what, we'll bring in Shuttleworth there. You can see we've got Lindsay on the bench, Kumwenda, Patterson, the new fullback option, and Zach Gannon, who wasn't quite fit enough to start, is also on the bench. I'm a little bit annoyed about the fact that the Vanarama National League, much like last year, limits us to only having 5 players on the bench. I just want 7 players on the bench, everyone. I feel like then you can have a lot more flexibility. Becomes a bit more of a challenge with only 5 subs to cover all positions. At least from my experience. Maybe I just don't sign versatile enough backups. Maybe that's my problem. Anyway, Young forward to Shuttleworth here, making his debut, plays it through to Leighton Stewart. This is really nice build-up play here. Dunstan was key in our first goal, could be key in our second, is going to be key in our second. Leighton! Oh, it's bringing a tear to my eye to see him back in the team. And Dunstan, I mean, at this point, maybe he's playing to try and prove a point. He's trying to prove to me, Gaffer, maybe you should give me £2,000 a week and make me the highest earner. I'm not convinced, for the record. I don't really want to pay him more than 1,000. I feel like, we've got Patterson, the new lad from Burnley. He can play right back naturally. If Dunstan does decide that he just wants to bugger off, we have, alternative players there. Anyway, DKM's had a superb performance, but he is tiring, so we're going to bring in Lindsay. And you know what? I'm going to take off Mampala and bring in Kumwenda. I was thinking for a second about taking off Stewart, but I don't know if he would forgive me when he is on a hat-trick. 10 minutes left, though, and we are in cruise control here. And, 3-0 up away from home against a team who are predicted to be 10th in the league. This is a great way to start this year. Of course, unlike previous years where we've signed a lot of players, we perhaps have the benefit of that everyone knows each other and that there isn't going to be that getting to know you period. It's not like we've got loads of players to gel in and bed into our new system. Shuttleworth puts it forward. There you go. Leighton Stewart, hat-trick hero. And Shuttleworth, the right winger, he is very good on set pieces and free kicks especially, as I think was evident by that there. That was like an NFL play almost. Pinging it like a quarterback forward. Stewart on the volley. What a finish that is. He gets his hat-trick. Oh, I've missed him so much. It's so nice to see Leighton Stewart back. I just hope he doesn't get sent off now because he is on a yellow card. Okay, he's not going to get sent off. We're in luck. 4-0. What a performance that is. What a performance that is to start the year. I will desperately hope that that is a sign of things to come here. I am a little bit concerned about the wages still. That's going to linger in the back of my mind. Stewart, man of the match. You were superb, my friend. You can see here, just looking at our finances, we've got £850,000 in the bank. We're currently spending over our wage budget. I can't ask for any more at the moment, so that's a bit of an annoyance, but hopefully we can before too long. If we just look at the club vision here, you can see stadiums being expanded, youth facilities are going to be done at the end of October. Meanwhile, training facilities, I believe, are also being upgraded. They are. You can see here, the bar is nearly filled up. They are going to be done in about a month's time, so lots of progress being made off the pitch. And of course, it's very good to apparently see that the new chairman is in favour with us. Hopefully that can continue for the foreseeable future. You can see here, I never really look at the fan reaction and the board reaction for signings and sales, but we've not really signed or sold anyone. But the general consensus is positive. Keane Rose, by the way, was released. I should have mentioned that. He wanted far too much for me to be able to afford, and he was a backup player last year, so we did just let him go. I'm trying to think if there was any other players who left us on free transfers. Big Mike left us, Mr. International left us, Addons left us. Just players who weren't really good enough. And the fact the fans are so happy about them leaving is perhaps an indicator of that. On the ins, you can see Smoljo is the signing that is attracting the most interest. If we look here, potential to be a championship goalkeeper in the future. Yeah, he and Johans are going to be fighting it out for the goalkeeping position. You can see here, Johans probably hasn't beat right now, but he does have better communication, Smoljo. And also, you can see here, he has signed a 5-year deal to the club. He had very low expectations compared to other players. So I've locked him down on, I think, the longest contract here at the club. Yeah, you can see here, significantly so. He, and also Zach Gannon, who also signed a new deal and is the highest earner at the club, tied down for the next 5 years, which is very, very exciting indeed. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode from me. I do hope you enjoyed it as always. Let me know what you made of our transfer dealings, or rather, I guess, lack of transfer dealings down in the comments. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, Leighton Stewart can continue to bang them in. I'm not sure what game we'll be back for. We'll have to kind of see how the league is playing out. But regardless, I promise you it'll be a good one. No more 0-0s this year. I can't promise that, but no more 0-0s. You heard it here first. Anyway, 4-0, what a start. See you tomorrow. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.